right. Hello, this is Emily. She,
And,
her.
and I'm atul, he, him. Sorry to interrupt there.
That's okay. And we'll get started with our discussion. We've been chatting a lot before we hit record, so we'll see where this goes, but it's very rich. What distinguishes a breakthrough from a breakdown, aka psychosis? Why is this important to think about clinically? And start there.
Yeah, I think what comes up for me there is one is that just don't really agree with the Western perspective that we've been talking about. Like, is someone crazy or not? That whole concept is doesn't really align with how I think about people. Everyone's on their own journey. When someone's bipolar, why are we treating it as a disease? Let's try to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
let's I think clinically, why is this important is to really understand that, everyone's life is different, and let's try to see what are the benefits of it rather than try to treat everything like a disease.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, and just thinking about psychosis, it's really important to understand what are the journeys of people, and what can we see the positives of that altered state, altered mind.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of value that can be learned from people's different experiences, both spiritually and just seeing the value in life.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
no, no. I was just seeing if you had some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting. It's like, what does constitute like a breakdown from a breakthrough? I feel like it really depends on the person and like, the article was talking about depends on how they're seeing it too, right? Of like how it's framed, the perspective of like, um, I don't know, like personally, I feel like I break down and I break through things and keeping in mind that like the psycho spiritual element is present always, in my experience, and like it's important to think about this clinically because um I think from like, okay, from like how do we support who's our client if they are experiencing a psycho spiritual like awakening or breakthrough that might look like a breakdown like in society, or like they're crazy, or like what the Groff's article was saying, like the psychospiritual crisis be like could awaken from a traumatic event or like a birth or a death or these things that are happening all the time that like people are responding or like feeling something that I think is a part of their like soul's journey. So taking that into like the clinical piece versus like it's not really like black and white, like um and really I think depends on who you're working with. Word vomit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I like two things that you said really stood out. One is break through versus breakdown.
Mhm.
And sometimes you need sometimes it can happen simultaneously, like a
Ah,
break breakdown is a breakthrough, and
mhm.
sometimes you need to break down before you have a breakthrough.
Really.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
break down after your breakthrough because
Yeah,
you're
that's
done.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
think the whole, yeah, not pathologizing. Yeah, not like
right.
this is bad. A breakdown is bad. And it's like, maybe it's not. Or like, yeah, bipolar, like maybe it's not. It
Mhm,
isn't. It just like is a
mhm,
state of being. And I think really challenging at times, and
mhm.
but it doesn't mean that like, yeah, there's something wrong with the
Hmm.
person.
Yeah. Not necessarily that you need big pharma to like solve it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
right. Like big pharma isn't the only answer.
right, right.
And we see that in Mate's like book too.
Mm,
The like relationship to MS of like
mm,
I remember one of his examples was his patient was like, "Oh, I know that I'm repressing my emotions because like my MS symptoms flare up, and so
mm,
then it teaches me to slow down." And she like has a loving
mm,
relationship with her disease, um and then I think eventually like got completely off of meds
mm,
from that like psycho spiritual somatic like healing place.
hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of positives
Mm-hmm.
of having something that's maybe most people don't have. Think about it in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Yeah,
multiple
and even
sources, something that you can really benefit from.
mm-hmm. um should we skip
Yes, I
go to
can read that. You should I read the rest of the question?
yeah, sorry, I don't know why I
Okay.
said skip.
Oh, you want to skip? All right, I'll read out. Furthermore, what role do psychedelics have in capturing us into altered states of mind? And what do you think about the ethics surrounding this issue? Can we learn to talk to Jesus, like Mate says, without becoming psychotic? Do you want to
Yeah,
have some thoughts there?
I think psychedelics in a therapeutic setting, in a safe setting, like yeah, have an immense healing ability. I think the issues surrounding like the ethics of it is just like things that come up that I think about is just like the container and the facilitator. Um,
Mm,
because you're altering the state of mind, like it's even more important for the safety and the container piece. But I think that yeah, it can be done like if it's done well and safely and with intention, like it's so powerful.
yeah, totally agree with you there. I think I think you talked about like turning off the logical mind, which is in
Mhm,
our society is so valued,
mhm,
is, these psychedelics really allow us to get in touch with our soul and our being and our body and gives
mhm,
our yeah, it's just like it's and as you're saying, like the containers, the what really can um, provide this journey in an ethical way
mhm,
and can be used as a resource rather than something that is abused and can have detrimental effects.
mhm.
So I think that's where I look at the ethics side of it.
I'm also thinking about that part where Mate was like turned away from holding space in the ayahuasca ceremony because he wasn't like clear energetically. And I think that that also is like a really
Mm-hmm,
important thing because of that altered state of mind, right? And like even I feel like that's really important to me, even in a therapeutic container without psychedelics. Like reading that was so inspiring and like, whoa, like what am I? What's like going on with me and like how can
mm-hmm.
I get clear now I'll continue to in between sessions like because I personally really believe in like energetics and like things that we can't see and
Mm-hmm.
um so like if you're serving something or providing a container and you're not like clear or
Mm,
um yeah, if you're like blocked with your own stuff, like that also can be really detrimental. So,
yeah, you can't help someone until you yourself. I mean,
hmm.
people say it all the time, but till you, I don't know, feel like going through this process, you don't really understand it.
Hmm.
And slowly becoming more in touch with my body and like realizing that there's all this stuff going on in my body and there's no way that I can help someone till that stuff's clear.
Address it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not clear, yeah, address it. Yeah, that's the right word. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then can we learn to talk to Jesus like Mate says without becoming psychotic?
Yeah, absolutely. I think these psychedelics and even other transpersonal methods of like drumming, etc.,
Mhm.
can reach you to that uh, spiritual state. Um, there's, I think, many paths, including psychedelics, but other ones as well. And I think our current way of living inhibits that a lot. Doesn't really support us there.
Yeah. And even that like it has to be Jesus or like,
Mm,
it's like it could be anything. It could be a
right,
tree. It could
right.
be whatever you feel connected to. And um yeah. The word psychotic is just interesting too. I'm like, what constitutes? I guess I need to like find the definition, but like
Hmm.
I think we're also all psychotic at times,
Yeah,
Like we're all are like having unique human beings, like having a spiritual experience.
right.
Uh, there's so much here. I'm
Yeah,
gonna end the recording.
yeah. We're definitely on 10 minutes.
Okay.